Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Monday, episode 51 of my Facebook Lives. My name is Pat Mayer, and I live in Akron, Ohio. So if you are joining me today, please leave a message, give me a thumbs up, and now it says I'm live. So I never know whether those first few words are actually being recorded, if anybody can hear them, or you catch me mid-word or mid-sentence. But anyway, let's see. I don't see anybody here yet, but I've got a quick, well, kind of quick. I like it. I think you will like this card. Quick and easy card today using the Harvest dies and the Nature's Harvest stamp set. So I'm going to flip you down to my desktop. And I used this stamp set back in August. I believe it was episode 43, if I remember that correctly, when I was showing how to use the new calendar stamp set. And I stamped with this. Today I'm going to be using the dies and show you something a little bit different. So if you were not around and following me back in August and you want to see how to do these calendars, be sure to go back there and check it out. Hi Gloria, thanks. You are here and watching. Great. All right. So this bundle of products is just beautiful. I'm more into fall right now. I know everybody's getting into Christmas. Hi Carol, welcome. By the way, if you hear any noise in the background, I've got some work going on upstairs, and so it's a little noisy over here right above my head. So I'll talk a little bit louder and we'll make it work. It's going to be one of those funny days. Hi, Sue. Welcome. And Fran is here too. Hey. Where are we here? Okay, in the mini catalog, this is the bundle, Harvest Meadow, and it includes all of these delicious products on page 55. So I'm going to be featuring the designer paper today. I've talked about the cork paper. I thought I lost it, but I found it. Use a little bit of these brush metallic adhesive backed dots. This delightful crocheted ribbon. About the only thing I'm not using in here is the time-worn type embossing folder. So let's get going. Got lots to show. And put these away. I've already pre-cut the dies that I'm going to use today. So I'll talk about that in just a second. Welcome, LJ. You set your alarm so you could catch me live today. That's so fun. Thank you. All right, let's talk about the paper, first of all. I've mentioned the cork paper a couple of times. You get 2 sheets for $7.50, but I'm telling you, this stuff is, it's cork. I don't know how to even describe the fact that it is actually cork here, and then it's paper in the back, of course. So it's very thin, very easily cut. You only get 2 sheets because typically you're going to use a small piece of it, which is what I'm going to do today. You can stamp on it. I understand you can emboss on it. That means heat emboss. So I think you're going to like, I'm just going to layer on it with some of these dies. The designer paper is also one of my favorites. and it's got some blue, some crumb cake, my favorite green right now, which is the soft succulent. We've got some bumblebee in here, and let's see, I believe that is Cajun Craze, although this doesn't really look like Cajun Craze. This looks more like, to me, like Calypso Coral, but it goes with the Cajun Craze. So that's wonderful paper. All right. Okay, so there was a noise. I hope you heard that. I don't know if you did or not. We'll just not pay attention. All right. I've got for you today another, what I call a fun fold. Now, I did a little accordion fold a couple of weeks ago, and it was a smaller one. This one, you can call it a W fold or an M fold, depending upon how you fold your paper. So I've got my paper trimmer here, and I'll zoom out so you can see that a little bit better. Will the zoom work? Let's turn that off. Okay, I guess you can see it well enough. Okay, this is cut to 12 by 5.5. And then I'm going to score it, and make sure you're using your scoring blade, the light gray one, not the dark gray one. And I'm going to score it at, you check my numbers so I don't get it wrong. I need to pull my side out here. I'll start over here at 8. 8, 6, and 4. So it's a kind of a big accordion inside. So that's all I need that for. And I'm going to fold it at the 6-inch first, and make sure I got that right. So that's my one fold. So that's going to be what we call a mountain fold here. And then fold the other two back. Okay. Making myself crazy here. There we go. So now I have created a card that looks like this, or I actually want the green to be out. So I'm going to fold it back like this. And there is some design on this with words that you really can't read, but you do want to make sure that it's going in the right direction. I was actually creating this card this morning with some reindeer on it, and I ended up, so the reindeer were going in the wrong direction, and the card would have opened backwards. So do be careful with how you score and cut your paper if there's a design to it or something that needs to be like that. So we now have, this is basically our card. So I've got some paper here that is the card base, which is 5.5 by 4.25, and I've used thick basic white. And if you don't have the thick paper, you might want to consider getting some of that. It will give a lot more stability to your card bases, or to something like this where I've got cardstock or designer paper that is thinner that's going to go on top. So I'm going to glue that to this. That will become my card, and this is the way it's going to open. So another tip is I did one with the Seal Plus adhesive, and if you don't get that down just right, there's no forgiveness to it. So I decided that using the liquid glue was a little bit more forgiving and would give me some leeway. So here we go again. Make sure your card's going in the right direction for where you want to put your adhesive on the back. It's so easy to get ahead and kind of make those silly mistakes. And you hate to waste the paper, but it is paper. So sometimes you can recover your mistakes and use that for something else. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Okay, so this wants to just keep flopping open. So I do want to put that right up against the edge. And I've got a little bit of an overhang, so I will trim that off. I may have cut that paper a little bit too big anyway, so that's okay. In that case, bigger is better. What did I do there? I did. I made that like almost like 6 3/4. So let's just grab my scissors and cut that off. There we go. That's certainly better than smaller. So this is the way the card is going to open. So before I do anything else, I'm going to grab this cone flower and stamp that on the 3 3/4 by 4.5 inch piece that's going to go on the inside where you can write a greeting or a message. And I'm just going to stamp that in soft suede. Soft suede isn't one of the colors in this, but I wanted something a little bit darker than crumb cake, but not quite as dark as early espresso. So let's just put that in there. And now I can use my seal. Whoops, I think that one's about empty. That's okay, because then I can use the liquid glue. So that's going to go on the inside like this. And I really wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, but I did cover that up enough so that when I put my sentiment here as part of the pop-up, that part is covered up. So that was just kind of a lucky mistake on my part. Oh, those things sometimes happen. Sometimes it works out just right. So let's clean that, get it put away. And let's see, I'll need that soft suede again in a little bit, but let's get ready to do the front. Okay, I have a piece of the craft paper. You can find the craft paper on page 9 in the mini catalog. It just looks like butcher paper. It's a little bit thicker. It's with a different suite of products, peppermint or something. I don't have that one, but this is 2.5 by 3 3/4. And that's where I'm going to layer a piece of the cork, which I pre-cut from the stitched rectangle dies. So that just fits on there so that gives that some stability. Because like I said, this is very thin, and I do believe that it needs to have something else on there to give it some stability. So I'm going to use the liquid glue again to put that on there now. So, how do you like our new weather? Last week we had summer. This week we're bordering on winter. I got up this morning and it was 43 degrees outside. To me, that's pretty cold for now, but again, I think it's kind of typical for what we can expect in at this time of year, because last week was certainly unseasonal, but lovely. So that's going to go on there like this. Let's put that aside for a second. When I cut the dies for this, most of the dies with this don't have, most of the stamps that go with this don't necessarily have a die to go with it. So these are just kind of extra little things. Let me see, where did I put that? Okay, here we go. The dies for the stamp set only have this one, and then even though there's a cone flower, it doesn't go with this. And then there are 2 tags that go with these longer sentiments that you can use. I don't think the tag one in there will go with this. And then these others are just kind of extra. So what I've done is just cut out a bunch of them in white, and then you can color with your blending brushes or with a sponge dauber and make them whatever color you want. And you don't even have to worry about having extra colored paper if you don't have the paper. So it just makes it easy. Typically white or vanilla, if vanilla happens to be one of the colors, the neutral colors that goes with the stamp set and the dies. So I've got one of the coneflower ones and 2 of these. I don't know what they are, but probably a grass type thing. You can color them whatever you want. And this, I have no idea what these are supposed to be because there's no stamp that goes with it. So I can make it whatever color I want. And I will use the colors that we've got here in this suite of products. So let's see, we've got some bumblebee here. And some soft succulent. That's my current favorite color of green, that and the evening evergreen. Love it. Crumb cake. Let get the card out of the way so I don't get ink on that before I'm ready. And the Cajun craze. And I've got some blending brushes here. Let's see, let's use the green and color one of these grassy type things. And with the blending brushes, you can get some light and dark looks. And it's just so easy to do. So it even, it just leaves a little bit of white, a little bit of the green. And let's see, what else on this other one, while I've got the green out. Going to add some green to this, and if it overlaps a little bit, that's okay. You can kind of go on the edge of the brush. So I think that's all I need with the green. Nope, I need some here. Let's put some green on the coneflower. There we go. Now I'm finished with the green. And let's see, with the coneflower, or no, let's use some Cajun Craze with these little flowers. And for that, I'm using my little red brush. Okay, here's Cajun Craze. And I like to tap it off to get some of that initial ink off. And this is just a brownish red, great for fall colors. There we go with that. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay, let's see. What do we need for the coneflower? Let's use the bumblebee. It's a little bit darker than I would like, but that's okay. And pull in the crumb cake for the top of that. So can you think of any easier way to color things? Oops, I forgot to do one of these. I have two of these. Let's see, I'll do a Cajun Craze with this one. Yep, decisions. And we'll just make it Cajun Craze all the way down. No green. All right. Now comes the fun part, and that is putting these all together. So we've got a little bouquet of wildflowers in the fall. Okay, I can kind of move that off to the side a little bit and just kind of make a little collection of these that's going to go on the cork. Okay, I've got an abundance of Cajun Craze going here, so I don't want to put those two that close together. And put the coneflower back here. And maybe put this over here. What do you think? And I'm not going to glue them all the way down. They're going to flop up a little bit. So I'm going to kind of keep those together a little bit, if I can. Oh, they're not going to stay together. And just add some adhesive here and glue them down. Let's see if I can remember where they went in the first place. Okay, we had that one. Then you can add more adhesive liquid glue if you like. Let's see, let's put this one over here. I think I had the coneflower there in the center. Of course, it's never going to look exactly the way I had it in the first place. And let's pick them up so they look more like a bouquet. And my fingers are sticking to the adhesive, but at least this is flexible enough that I can pull those up. Hi, Linda. You're not late. You're still working on your chocolate, huh? Yum, yum. All right. Okay, so there's our little bouquet. Love it, love it. And then the ribbon. I was a little bit like, okay, how can I do this ribbon? How am I going to get this on the card? Because this is very thick. And when I was doing my little prototype, which I'll show you in a little bit, this is not good for tying a bow, but it is good for just going around the card like this. And I want to make sure that I've got some adhesive there on the edge to catch that. And tack that down, then come from behind and leave this out over here. And let me get my big ribbon scissors here that I still love, 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 that we used to sell many, many years ago. A good pair of paper snips will work too. Just get a pair that is dedicated to ribbon and nothing else, and you'll be fine. So I'm going to turn that over and add adhesive to the back as well. Again, I think I can get through the live today without changing that. There's just enough left in there. All right, so there we go with that. So that means that this is going to last a long time because you're not going to tie bows with it. But we've got this wonderful little twine, our twine grouping, which if you remember I put in a cheese shaker. And I will go ahead and use the beige one that it's like an off-white that actually matches that ribbon. So let's get a piece of that. And then you just tie a knot around the edge of your ribbon. So you still get the effect of the beautiful crochet look and not tie a bow. Then you want to make that pretty tight. So that color just perfectly matches that crocheted ribbon. Actually, this has a name, I guess. What is it called? It's called Diamond Weave Ribbon. And it is in the mini catalog. You get 10 yards. You get 10 yards of that for $10. I want to make sure that's pulled really tight. Put another knot in there just to make sure. Then I can trim that off. And trim this down to size a little bit more. So basically I only needed about less than 8 inches of that. So a little bit of that goes a long way, and it just looks so much better like that. Okay, let's get ready to finish this card. And I think I'm going to put that at a bit of an angle and use dimensionals. And I don't want it to collapse in the middle, so I always like to put dimensionals in the center. Okay, and I forgot to mention where I got the idea for this folded card. I've seen it a couple places, and there's a UK demonstrator. Her name is Pip Todman. Isn't that the cutest little name? Pip. So I saw that from her, and then I believe Rhonda Wade has also shown something like this. And that's how to get ideas, and then you just make it your own. Hey, Nancy, you're here. All right, let's get rid of those so that they don't end up all over the floor as they usually do. And there we go. Now, with some of these, I think they need to have a little bit of adhesive. I am going to add a dimensional to the back of the cone flower because it's the big one there, and put that down, and that might help hold those other ones down too. And I can tuck those little grassy things under this one. So just kind of maneuvering things around a little bit to make the card work, yet still give it some dimension when things pop up. And let's grab a mini dimensional to go under this one little flower here. There we go. So there's the front of the card. And we've got one more thing to do. I cut out, again, this is something else that I have a whole bunch of them. Hi, Debbie. This is the tailored, there's another word there I'm missing, tailored tags from the annual catalog. They are awesome and should be they're tailor-made tags. They're on page 166. You can see them on page 95, which I actually happened, oops, I think I lost it. No, I didn't. It's featured on page 95 in the catalog, which actually goes along with that little set I've been showing my last couple weeks on lives, which is the banner year. So that must be one that everybody needs to have. Banner year keeps popping up. Okay. So this is going to go on the inside. And that's going to go right here. We've got that little hole there, so it needs something. So I'm going to make a little bow. Not real good at making bows here. Just to cover up that hole. Yes, those tags are great. And especially with Christmas coming up and the holidays, everything needs a tag. So I'm just going to put that here and put that little bow right there in the center of that hole. Before I glue that down, though, I'm going to use a sentiment. Let me see here. Where did it go? I've got a new sentiment. It's called Sending Hugs. And this is a sneak peek of a stamp set that I'm going to show next week. It's available only for demonstrators right now, and it's called Eden's Garden. And the whole suite of products will be available to customers starting November 2nd. And then many of the products will be as supplies last, especially the paper. But the Sending Hugs is just a perfect one for right now. So let's see, let's use soft suede. So be sure to tune in next Monday for the Eden's Garden. So we've got Sending Hugs and needs something else. This is one of my favorite stamps in this set. And it's just a little blobby thing. That's actually what I used when I created this one to get that background for the coneflower when I did the calendar. And let's see, let's use the bumblebee on that. And stamp that off a little bit. And when I meant bumblebee, I meant using the bumblebee ink. So it just adds a little bit more to that. And close these up so I don't get ink on my card. And that's going to go right here. I only want to add adhesive up to that point so it doesn't get glued onto the other part of the card. And you don't want to put this right up to the fold, just a little bit from it. And then let's add this little bow. Let's use a mini glue dot for that. And let's see if I can roll that off of there. No, I didn't do a very good job of that. Put that down in that hole so I can cover that up. And there we go. So that's the card, and it opens like so. Will fit in a regular envelope, and I don't think it's too thick to go in with regular postage, especially since there's not a bow on there. This is the original card that I made this morning. And I had tied a bow on this and then thought, that's just not going to work. So I made it like the one that I just did. Oh, I forgot to add some Wink of Stella to this. Where's my Wink of Stella? Well, it was here. Oh, there it is. So these little flowers need some Wink of Stella. And one more thing, then I will sign off. Let's add some Wink of Stella to all those little flowers. And the cone flower and these little flowers back here. Any place you want a little bit of spritz. And then the last thing are these beautiful brushed metallic adhesive back dots. I love these things. Thanks, Carol. This was fun to make. I really enjoyed doing this. And let's get my take a pick tool. See, I like the brass looking ones. Let's put one up here on the cone flower. And I'll even use a large gold one because the little ones are almost gone. And put that over here on that one. And then one of these, it's like a gunmetal color, I guess I would call it. And let's put that over here on this one. So there we go. That is my one for today. Here's my original prototype. This one, I had the sending hugs on the inside, and I happen to have a circle die hanging around, but I didn't put anything on this. So there's that one, and there's that one. So you are welcome. Thanks, LJ. You're welcome. And I hope, let's see, let's get back here, show my face. Hope you have a great rest of the week. And be looking for something from Eden's Garden next week. So it'll be another sending hugs one, or there are other sentiments in there. So take care, have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.